In every journey, there's always a destination, and today we take you to the western part of the country, Kakamega County, which is well known for the bullfighting competition.
And here now we get to witness the grand finale of the Kenya Cup at the Bull Ring. It is a match between the final regulars Kabras Sugars and the first-time finalists Menengai Oilers, the boys who began their road to the Kenya Cup finals way back in 2018.
Kabras seems to be the favourites coming into this game.
But one can't rule out the brave lads from the refinery after their game against KCB. Will Oilers get to equal the number of titles Kabras have, or the Sugarmen will add one more title to their cabinet?
Stay tuned and find out.
The Kenya Cup final, having played in it many years ago, means a lot to players here. First, because to be the champion of the game of rugby in Kenya is a big thing, but it's also about selection as well, because many of the players are now putting their hands up to see if they can get selected for the Simbas this year. It's a big year because we are looking to qualify for the World Cup for the first time. We're also going to the Currie Cup, which is a chance for players to be seen at a much higher level. And who knows, if the players play well today and they get selected, it may lead to a professional contract. So it's a big thing for players, for their clubs, for their families, and for their careers. Kabras are, of course, much bigger, a lot more experience, and they have the power, the forwards. It'll be very interesting to see the contrasting styles. Oilers, Menengai should play exactly how they played last week. So they were very clever that they were moving the ball to the edges, kicking for field position, but they were not putting the ball up high. So they were keeping the ball quite low. And then forcing KCB last week. And I think they need to force Kabras as well to kick, so field position. Oilers didn't score a try last week, but they won. And it just shows that there are many ways to skin a cat. So how to win a game of rugby can be done in very many different ways. So you've asked a very good question. The contrasting styles, I think, will be fascinating for us to watch. If our Oilers that stick to the same plan, now can they deal with the physical nature of Kabras, who are, I think, a lot more conditioned than KCB? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Well, for Oilers, I just hope it hasn't taken too much out of them, because when KCB played Kabras the week before, maybe it took a bit out of them when they met Oilers in the semi-finals. So, but the Oilers are a young team. And when you're young, the recovery is a lot quicker. So maybe the trip to Nairobi playing and then back to Nakuru, then travel up to Kakamega may take its toll. But if the conditioning coaches and the head coach have got it right in terms of recovery, then they should be feeling fresh. But youth is on their side. They're also the underdogs. So it will be interesting to see. The first few minutes will be very interesting to see if Oilers are actually playing according to their style. I think composure. When I watched them play KCB in the league game this year, when I watched the final last year, I think last year they were not even aware that the game was tied. Because when the final whistle went, you saw them celebrating like they'd won. So I think it needs composure, particularly from their leadership group, the likes of Dan Sikuta and George Nyambua, John Ekubu, need to really keep the team composed. But I think Dukisa, the fly-half, is going to be very key, because if he keeps his composure and plays according to the plan, then I think Kabras will be there. If they don't keep their composure, they may find it difficult. And then you never know. If the scores are close and the pressure starts building and they're at home, and their fans today really do expect Kabras to win. So that works in Oilers' favor, because when you're the underdog, what do you have to lose really? The standard of the game here is going to be very high. We're looking at Kabras. I think we're looking at 13 players. Looking at the Oilers, quite a few players, but others are putting their hands up. The standard of rugby here is going to be very high, as is expected of the Kenya Cup final. I'd love to see a lot more ball in play time. because then that will help us with seeing how our players can play over 30 to 40 minutes. Ball in playtime now at the highest level of the game is heading to 40 minutes. Last week, the Oilers KCB game had 20 minutes of ball in playtime. So, and then also we're looking at durations of play, of high intensity. I think the longest duration of play last week was maybe about 2 minutes, and you want to get 3 to 4 minutes consistently. But look, these players are here to win a final, so I can talk all I want about ball in playtime. Today, both these teams want to win. Selection is always difficult. First, the players who went with the Simbas to South Africa in November and October have an edge because they did have an opportunity to play at a high level. Now, what do I have to do to ensure that we don't leave any player out? One, we have a lot of footage of the players. So our analysis team and the rest of the team are working very hard to ensure that we've captured what we're looking for. First, we need rugby players. We're not going to be a big team. Never. I mean, people look at these players and think they're big, but when you look at those South Africans or those Namibians, they're huge. So we need fit, quick players who can fit into the game plan, but we need players who can think. So this, when I come and watch games, I'm looking at decision making. Who's making the right decisions on attack and defense? And then who's moving around the field and putting in a lot of work. So in terms of answering your question on criteria, that's one thing. To ensure that I don't leave any good player out, that's always difficult. And then as a head coach, sometimes you may have a good player, but if our personalities don't work, it always becomes very difficult bringing in a player. And then we don't have time. Our first game in the Currie Cup is on the 25th of March. So I'll feel bad for some of the new players because there may be no time for us to develop a relationship. But let's see. After today, let's see what we can do in terms of quickly getting the team together. I think I'll have to be honest, no. because today is the 12th of March. Is it 13th? First Currie Cup game is on the 25th. Majority of the players playing on this field today will be in the Simbas. Goes without saying. So by the time they rest, recover, you call them in. So you're looking at maybe at the end of the week. So we plan to have a camp in Nakuru. Because if majority of the players are from Western Kenya and Nakuru, it makes sense to have the camp there. So then we'll have a camp over the weekend, and then next Tuesday or the Tuesday after that, they're on the plane to South Africa. So I think that first game, I have to be honest to tell you that we won't be as ready as we'd like to be. We'll be ready, but not as ready as we'd like to be. But as always, we get better and better with games. So look at game 4 or 5 for the Simbas to really start hitting their straps.
It's been a grueling 20 weeks, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of joy in between that time, a lot of lessons that we picked, and that's why we're here. We're playing a very formidable side in Kabras. I think they've been in every final for the last 5 years, so that tells you how good they have been. For us now, it's just making sure that we're in the game and we seize our moments and seize opportunities. Finals are about composure, about taking opportunities, and about being calm under critical moments. So basically that's it. So I've pitched that to the boys. They know what they expect. They believe among themselves is that they can go all the way and win. So I've guided them the best way possible. And I believe if we put everything into perspective, we should be able to get a good result at the end of it all.
I'm excited to be here for the finals. It has been a long season, but eventually we are in the finals. As a team and personally, I think a lot is at stake, but we don't have any pressure whatsoever because I think we've prepared well. Coming to this final, we've worked on areas we thought we were supposed to work on them. And I think I'm here to win. And my teammates are also here to win. And that is the main goal of today. But again, most importantly, we've come here to enjoy ourselves, and through that enjoyment, I think we'll be able to execute whatever we want to execute and eventually win the game. To our fans, first of all, thank you for having been with us from game 1 up to the final. It has been a long way through working in the gym, on the pitch, having talks with our coaches, generally complimenting each other, the support from the fans all through. Whenever we are down, whenever we have issues, we have always reached out. They've always given us support, and we are grateful. I think today we should turn up for them and give them a good show on the pitch.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Excited, yeah. The ball didn't bounce on our court, but yes, again. But then again, it's sport. It's definitely sport. We learn, we take our belief, and for our first final to be and play in such a platform, definitely nerves got into our way. But that is the sport. We learn. Each and every day we learn, and that's all about Oilers. It's about the improvement. It's about that constant belief, constant learning, and definitely our time will come.
I feel like hard work really pays, because we've been waiting for the last 5 years, been reaching finals, but we are losing each and every finals. But finally, we've won through learning from the past experiences.
So unfortunate that we've lost, but according to me, it's a win to my boys. They have put up the fight. They have done their best. They have done what they always do when we are training. They have given our best. According to me, actually, I've won the finals because given the experience the Cabras have had in finals, they've had, I think, more than 4 finals. They've never won. We've just came in with our first final attempt, and we've given them the fight for their money, the fight for their sponsor, the fight for their game. I'm so happy about my boys. It's a win for me. What we're taking home is how to handle the final pressure. And I think we've started learning that from what we've been going through during the season, during the semis, beating KCB, taking them out of the Lions Den. And I'm so happy that my boys are improving every day and day and day. Day in, day out, they are giving us our best. And what they're taking home today is that when we come to a final, then our mentality has to be winning. Not supremacy battles, but just to win the game. My boys, we've done it. We've won. Cabras are still crying. They've won, but they're still very unsatisfied about the win because we came here, we pushed, we beat them actually. They just got lucky about 2 penalties, 3 penalties. They took us out of the game, but we're still in. I wish them all the best. Next season, I think we'll be here again. Not actually here. We'll be back Menengai Oilers because I think we'll be leading the league.
I think despite the fact that we did not win, I feel like we have made what we call a milestone. For this far we have come because this is the first time we are in the finals. And the boys really tried. Yeah, if you look at the first half we were leading, and then second half luck was not on our side, but it was a good game. It was quite entertaining.
What do you have to say to the boys next season?
I believe next season is our season. It's going to be our season because that momentum, let's pick from that momentum, and then next season I think we are going to be in. Yeah.
The match was worth the final. Both teams brought out the best they could from the semis. Congratulations to Cabras. Oilers, better luck next time. For Oilers, they really didn't have anything to prove coming into this game. This was their first time in a final. Of course, nerves are expected. The pressure was all on Cabras. So for them being in the final for the first time and giving Cabras such a run for their money, it's really something to be proud of. I'm sure next season they might go one better and actually take the cup. For Cabras, this 6th time of asking, I think. They were the favorites for the day, but they had to work for it. So I think the winner overall was Rugby, but I think Oilers has given everyone in the league something to think about for next season.
No, I'm happy because Cabras have won their trophy. Na imekuwa a long time coming na tumefurahi, tumekuwa like most finals but tumeshinda. So since the last time we won, it was back 2015. I was in that squad na tumekuwa ma finals, being beaten final na same team. Na tuko happy for the win. I hope zitaendelea. Yeah, it was a good final, good fight from the Menengai Oilers, and wish the best for them. Tupatane tena next season.
Ladies and gentlemen, tulieni kidogo. Let them at least take a group photo. These guys have been nothing short of amazing. Runners up in 2021-2022. Wapi makofi ya Oilers?